I was just thinking about it the other day, and I said to myself, holy hell, it's September. It's NFL season time. And it is. That's just nuts. Again, I've said it before in other videos, so I hate to be repetitive, but I will be again. The older you get, the faster it just seems time gets away from you. And it has. And here we are, the 2023 NFL season. This is nuts. So, as is always the case during the NFL season, I share with you my weekly picks for whatever they're worth. Just for whatever. I don't do the money lines or anything like that. If I pay more attention to it, I have more interest to it, I actually bet more money on shit, then I would probably care. But I don't, so I don't. So it just is what it is. But each week I'll come here and I'll give you my weekly picks. Now, one thing I'll do to shake up the format a little bit this year, I'll still put all of my picks in the description box below, but I'm not going to go through and just hit on every single game. I'm going to talk through a couple of featured games of interest, marquee games each week, so I can devote just a tad bit more time to them. So anyways, let's get this bitch going. Week 1, 2023 NFL season. It's on, bitches! And we already saw Thursday night the Detroit Lions go into Arrowhead and upset the Kansas City Chiefs 21-20. And, that was a fun game, but kind of ugly. You could say, well, the Lions, won a big one. They certainly did on the road. You'll always take that, and they looked rough at times. In particular, their play calling, not getting Jahmyr Gibbs the ball more, seemed kind of astounding to me. But the Chiefs, you got to keep this in mind. Excuses, ifs and buts, or candies and nuts, and be Christmas every day, blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is that their receivers had several jobs. Kadarius Toney had a nightmarish game, and the Chiefs still almost won. But, hey, that's why they play the games, right? So I thought the Chiefs were going to win that one. They didn't, so I start off the season on the schneid 0-1. Let's move on, shall we? I've got 2 games on the early Sunday slate that I want to talk about here a little bit. The first one is Bryce Young, Frank Reich, and the Carolina Panthers traveling to Atlanta to take on Desmond Ridder and Arthur Smith. That sounds so boring. And the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 3.5-point favorites here. And I look at this matchup, this is naturally intriguing because Desmond Ridder's first full season as a starter in Atlanta, maybe the only full season as a starter, we'll see. Meanwhile, Bryce Young, the young quarterback that the Panthers gave up so much for to move up from pick 9 to pick 1 to take him, swapping picks with the Chicago Bears. This is their guy. This is their time. This is his moment. And it'll be great to see how he does, interesting to see how he does in week 1 on the road against a divisional foe. And certainly can understand at the moment that the Atlanta Falcons might be 3.5-point favorites because there's a lot of uncertainty about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. But it's not like this Falcons team is great. It's not like these two teams finished apart from each other last year. They had the same damn record, honestly. And it's not like Desmond Ridder is so much better than Bryce Young at this point. If I look at this, I like Bryce Young more than I like Desmond Ridder. I like Frank Reich more than I like freaking Arthur Smith. I'm picking an upset here. Give me the Carolina Panthers plus the 3.5 to win it, baby. Another marquee early matchup to me is the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. And Cincinnati's favored by 2 and seems a little weird. Like the Browns kind of stunk last year with or without Watson. Didn't really matter. Meanwhile, the Bengals were really close to making it back to the Super Bowl. But hey, it's week 1. A lot of uncertainty. Probably questions about Joe Burrow and his health. Some curiosity around what Deshaun Watson's going to do with the full offseason, full training camp, full preseason, and now in the flow in 2023, a full year in Cleveland. As easy as it is to sit there and just dismiss the Browns here, and it certainly is, the skid marks can be dismissed so easily. The reality is that in last season, just like with Carolina and Atlanta in 2022, they split the series. They each won a game. The Browns handed the Bengals their last regular season loss of 2022, and that wasn't even close. Nick Chubb went for over 100 yards and a couple of touchdowns. The Bengals got their shit rocked that day. So it leads me to not so easily just dismiss the Browns here. Yeah, but I'm still picking Cincinnati. Give me the Bengals minus the 2. Switching to the Sunday late afternoon games. For those that are expecting me to talk more about Bears and Packers, no. My preview video for that game is up. You need to go watch that if you want my thoughts on that. I go way more in depth on that one. But I look at the Miami Dolphins traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. The Chargers are 3-point favorites here. You know, you go back to last year, these two teams faced. The Chargers had the advantage. They got the win. But this is a big spot for both of these teams because these are two of those, what you might call next up type of teams, right? They're not quite in the category, at least as of yet, of the Chiefs and the Bengals and the Bills, but they're the ones right here, the Miamis, the Chargers, the Jaguars. These are the teams that are nipping at the heels, that next wave, that next team. You've got a battle of two guys that were taken immediately, one after the other in the 2020 NFL draft, and Tua Tagovailoa going 5th to the Dolphins and Justin Herbert going 6th to the Chargers. It's a fascinating game. Two teams with a lot of weapons, two teams with explosive offenses that can really throw the ball and put up a lot of points. You know, if this wasn't running up the same time as Bears-Packers on Sunday, I might want to watch this fucking game, as it should be exciting. But I like the Dolphins here. Give me the Dolphins +3 on the road because it's not like the Chargers have a home field advantage any damn ways, as even the people in LA don't give a shit about the Chargers. So there's really no intimidation factor there. You might have as many Dolphins fans or more Dolphins fans than Chargers fans in the stadium Sunday afternoon. So yeah, give me Miami in an upset +3. The Sunday night matchup features the Dallas Cowboys traveling to New York to take on the Giants. Of course the Cowboys would be on Sunday night in Week 1. It wouldn't matter if they were projected to be the worst fucking team in the league. The NFL loves to pound them down people's throats like the WWE did with John Cena for over a fucking decade. For those of you that get the comparison, that aren't Cowboys fans, you're going to be like, you're goddamn right. Even those of you that are Cowboys fans that get my comparison, you should be like, yeah, it's kind of true. Now, that said, these are two playoff teams from last year, two major markets, you know, bring huge fan bases. So Week 1, Sunday night, shit, I get it, right? And you look at this, the Giants lost both matchups to the Cowboys last year in the regular season. If they want to get back to the playoffs in 2023, if they want to establish that it wasn't smoke and mirrors last year, if they want to establish that they could be a threat in that NFC East, they really need to win this game at home. They really, really do. And as far as the Cowboys go, like, you can give no quarter. You have to assume Philadelphia is going to win Week 1. You got to be able to keep pace. So if Philly beats the Patriots on the road in Week 1, you can't come into this matchup and lay a freaking egg. You just can't. I think the Cowboys are just a better team, although I certainly give the advantage from a coaching standpoint to Brian Daboll. Give me the Cowboys -3. And then you've got the Monday night matchup, right? This should be an interesting one. The Buffalo Bills traveling to, I still want to call it the Meadowlands, but you get what I mean, to Jersey to take on the Aaron Rodgers and the new-look New York Jets. And the Bills are 2.5-point favorites, which I can understand because a lot of uncertainty of, like, what's Aaron Rodgers going to be like this year? How much should you really get behind and believe in the Jets? But it's really hard. Week 1, you don't know what the fuck you really make out of this, right? You really don't. You can only take but so much away from the preseason. And as you look at this, these two teams split the two games last year. And the game that the Jets beat the Bills, they had Zach Wilson at starting quarterback. So if you assume Aaron Rodgers in 2023 is better than Zach Wilson in 2022, which I certainly would at least feel comfortable with doing so, you know, the Jets absolutely have a chance in this game. And I'm going to pick them. In another upset, give me the Jets plus the 2.5. So those are my marquee kind of matchups to watch here in week number 1. You, as always, can look at my picks. Tell me your picks in the comments. We'll see how I do at the end of this week. Make sure you check out Sunday night after the Bears-Packers game. I'll give my Week 1 recap, and then sometime Monday night or early Tuesday morning will be my Week 1 NFL recap. Football season's here, baby! Yeah! Let's go.